So you're probably wondering, what is so special about each Cedric book? Like, it is a ongoing plot. You have several power couples. The series is got a lot of broody, angsty elements to it, but a lot of mythology and history is packed into each novel. So with the Cedric, I doubled down on Slavic and Romanian, and even a little bit of a Polish and Germanic stuff. So there's a lot of folklore, superstitions that are familiar with folks who are familiar with those veins. And of course, I'm always layering in dark history in these books. When you get to Roma Santa Book 2, you're going to experience a lot of werewolf lore. That's where this book for research came in handy quite a bit. And I wanted to be very specific. I wanted Apollo, but I also wanted, but there's two different Apollos, right? There's the Greek Apollo and the Celtic Apollo. So I kind of try to tie the two in a little bit. But you also have a lot of Nordic mythology, a lot of Vinmer and wolf lycanthropy. Like, I went down the rabbit hole and then even stitched in a real serial killer in the mix who thought he was a werewolf. So that's sort of that splash you get in his book. Then you move on to the Oracle, right? And the Oracle, I wanted to show a unsung heroes of the dragon realm a little bit, and the unknown weird history of the Oracle. So I threw in a lot of information about the Oracles and Delphine, the mother of dragons, according to Greek and Roman mythology. And her lover is Typhoon. I don't really cover that much in this one, in the Oracle, but know that might come back later. So I'm not abandoning all the mythology completely, but I wanted to give us a splash of medieval bestiaries and Greek and Roman dragons, because you don't see them written about. And it took me a lot of research on different titans and gods and their interactions with either Delphine or Typhoon to get all the little bits that I wanted. And then I had to build Delphine's lore back up in a way that worked for the story. And I think it works really well because she was made for Gaia made her for Cronus. Cronus didn't want her, tossed her to Zeus, his son, and then Zeus was like, and it kind of is sort of muddled, but I did find for some weird reason that she was involved with the oracles and Apollo's mother, Leto, and all those things. So I had to scrape quite a bit, but you also have creatures that are in medieval bestiaries like the Joculus. This was described as a very thin, long dragon that climbed into trees and up buildings and would come down at you like spears. Now granted, there's a good chance this was actual spears dolled up with a bunch of animal parts attacking people. And we talk about that a lot, about how much of this might be just warnings of stuff that can happen on your travels during the Dark Ages. But it was such a neat dragon that I'd never seen or heard of before. So I try to add a lot of that stuff. Then you get to Artemis. Artemis was a bit of a challenge to write. It took me a little longer than I thought to write this because I had to sit down and really map out this new aspect of the world, because now we've left the mortal realm and we've gone to the other world, the world where fairies live and the deities have disappeared too, and all that jazz, right? And a lot of lores and legends, and you get to kind of feel that in this book, and even in the next book, which is King Incubus. You discover the Celtic. I based a lot of it on the Celtic underworld, and the reason for that is because they had all these islands that reminded me of other mythologies. So they had an island specifically with large fauna and things, and the land of honey, and I'm like, oh, what a great place for fairies to live. And then they had another tier or mog that was described as a land of women warriors, and I'm like, perfect place for my Amazons and the Furies and the Valkyries to live, right? let's make a community there that's their place. And so I use that to my advantage quite a bit. And the whole idea is that they talk about you get to understand Aaron Aether a little bit in this, and more so in King Incubus, who's the missing deity that everyone's like, if he was still here, Gaia wouldn't be being so violent and mean and horrendous to everyone. But in Artemis, it was a lot of fun to dive into not only Irish folklore and build this Celtic underworld that mashes up and connects to other underworlds and things that you're familiar with, but to expose a whole new flavor of things and a new visuals of how that would work, right? And even better, get to really dive into the Furies, the Valkyries, and the Amazons quite a bit in this, as you see the most character development happening with Angelina, heroine. King Incubus was a lot of fun because it parallels Artemis. So now we're back in the mortal realm trying to figure out what on earth is happening there, while Cedric and Roma Santa and Angeline are busy trying to return the eye to Gaia. In that book, I decided, it's something I've always been itching to do, is be able to show off some Caribbean and Latino-based and South American-based lores and legends, and come about it in a very curious way. We have a character who has been cursed, and he's losing his humanity, and he's being thrust into the best way they know to. They're like, well, he didn't grow up during the Dark Ages like the rest of us, so we have to like train him how to fight in this archaic way a little bit, how to control his powers, how to get comfortable with this new body he's developing. And so they decided to send him on his first quest to an island to retrieve a legendary item from the salamander. I'm a big fan of real salamanders, so it was fun that one of the main encounter or near the climax of this book is the salamander god. This fiery volcanic gods being intertwined in there quite a bit. So it was quite fun to do that. There's a lot to come. You're going to experience Hades in the near future. You're going to experience more. We're going to discover more about what happened to the Greek Roman pantheon, because they seem to be kind of MIA so far in the book. And because Gaia is now and everyone's declared war against her, there's a lot of drama and things boiling to the top, and deities taking sides. So much fun in the next few books, but I look forward to continuing this story. It's something that allows me to do my geeky research, but that would be a snapshot of what to expect when it comes to the mythology and myths behind the Cedric series. So you can pick up copies with the new covers and even some old covers left of some of these books on my TikTok shop or on willisauthor.com or anywhere books are sold. So thanks, and see you guys on the other side.